guys, in this episode I'll be sitting down with Emma Keeley, the founder of the Baddie Blueprint, half marathon runner and living proof that you can walk away from the life that you want to not live anymore. So exciting to have you. Welcome to Power Without Permission.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me. It is such an honor to be invited onto this podcast today, and I love everything that you stand for, and I just feel very honored to be here today.
Thank you. I really appreciate the travel and everything that you guys have done to be here. So I'm just super, super excited. So I just wanted to quickly ask you, what was the story you used to tell yourself about who you were before you've kind of come into who Emma is now?
Oh, it's such a big question. I come from a family that doesn't have a lot of money. Yeah. I come from a family where there is a lot of abuse. I come from a family with 7 other people, other kids. So I've got a lot of siblings, and growing up, you know, I was the victim. And so then in adulthood, I became the victim, being victim mentality. Yeah. And I lived that life for a really long time where I believed the world was happening to me and not for me. Yeah. And there was a lot of patterns. I noticed a lot of patterns in my life where, you know, abuse would follow me around because I wasn't able to shift through and change and break that victim mentality. And then I worked like a dog. I worked like a dog for a lot of people, and I worked long hours, you know, full-time jobs, and then 2 jobs, night shifts, day shifts. And something that, you know, made me step out of that is the gym and starting this career. And so the story I used to tell myself was, you know, I was the victim and that I had to work like I did in order to survive, and I had to put everyone else's needs before my own. Yeah. And I wasn't worthy of more. And that's the story that I used to tell myself.
Yeah, that's so crazy. And when did you get to the stage where you kind of realized you need to take a different path? Take us back there.
Well, I was, like I said, I worked multiple jobs, and I worked, you know, days and nights, and it wasn't until COVID, before COVID, I was talking a lot about doing my PT course, and then I was working with people, and I would always talk about doing it. I was a gym fanatic. Yeah. I loved it so much, and it was something I was so passionate about. But, you know, with my work schedule, it was really hard to find the time. And now I realize that that was just a belief holding me back. Yeah. But it was really hard for me to find the time to do it. And then COVID happened, and I was finally able to do that. I lived alone, and it was obviously really lonely, but it gave me a great opportunity to learn and expand my knowledge and actually get qualified for personal training. And then when I stepped into that space as a personal trainer, I was working at a job where my clients were paying $80 an hour to see me, and I was getting $25 of that. And, you know, I was the most booked out trainer there was there. And, you know, I'm looking at what this company's making off of me and how much I'm expanding my knowledge and how much effort I'm putting into my clients and the results that they're getting and how they feel about me. Yeah. And I was like, why wouldn't I be able to do this on my own? Like, why couldn't I create something out of this? And I'm so glad that I took that risk. I actually did it with only $200 in my bank account. Like I said, my family, I come from a poverty. Yeah. They don't have a lot of money. And so
wow, you started this with only $200.
Yeah,
in your
so
account.
I had rent to pay. I was living out of home, rent to pay, bills to pay. Yeah. And there was no other option for me. You know, it was either make someone else rich, or like live someone else's dream and contribute so much to other people, or I could do it for myself and really truly help the people that I'm working with as well. So I was able to do that.
So did you find your, I guess, safe space in the gym?
Yes. So another part of my story is, like I said, abuse followed me around for a really long time until I was able to break out of the victim mentality and the story that I was telling myself. I really truly believed that I deserved the abuse that I was getting. Like I grew up with that treatment, and so going into adulthood, I was like, this is what I deserve. You know, this is what I'm used to. This is what I'm going to have. And so I was in a relationship when I was 19. My partner at the time, he was very abusive physically, sexually, and mentally, emotionally, every type of way you could be. He was 34 and I was 19. And
do you feel like that age gap definitely was kind of showing like a bit of a power imbalance there too.
Yeah. So that was all about control and manipulation. I realize now that I'm 24, I realize that the reason he was dating someone so young was because I was easier to manipulate.
Yeah. Like growing up, were you told that there was only kind of one way to make money, one way to be successful?
There wasn't really a safe path for me.
Yeah.
Honestly, my belief was that I would be working in coffee shops, in bars. I actually applied to go to work at a strip club at 18. I believed that I wasn't one of the people that could make more money. My money mindset was so damaged beyond repair at that time. Like it just felt like I was never going to be worthy of creating success. And so, I was about to start dancing naked and working at coffee shops, and that's not a bad thing. And like it definitely gave me life lessons, but my belief back then was like, I can't be more.
Wow. So when you kind of got to that stage in your life, was there a real turning point that said to you, other than COVID, obviously, because I know COVID was really crazy at the time, and I don't know where you were based during that time. Were you based in Sydney?
Yeah, Sydney.
Yeah. So the lockdowns, I think especially in Sydney, were very, very intense compared to other states, I would say, relatively. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was living, like I said, I was living alone. I ended up getting a housemate didn't end up working out. And then I met that partner and, he was at the time, as a narcissist is, he's like, oh, you should just move in with me. It'll save money on rent. You're living alone. Like you're really lonely, move in with me. And then that's where, my path got scarier before it got better. And sometimes that happens. Like sometimes shit hits the fan before it can get any better.
What was that moment where you realized your power in that relationship and left?
So
if you're comfortable to share, obviously.
Of course. I realized for a few weeks before I actually left that what was happening, he would drug me, sexually assault me while I was asleep. It was horrendous. And, I was telling my sister about it and she's like, you've got to get out. Like you have to get out. And he had actually pushed me away from all of my friends. He had convinced me that there was no one else.
Socially isolated you.
He isolated me and told me there was no one else that was going to support me, that no one else loved me. And, being myself back then, I really truly did believe that there was no one there to support me. And then there was a friend of mine, friend loosely at the time. She's a friend now, but at the time we just kind of knew of each other, and someone had told me, oh yeah, she's looking for a roommate. And I messaged her and I was like, can I move in tomorrow? Like literally I'm making an escape plan. Like I need to get out of this environment. And so my sister came. He told me he was working late that night, which was great. He was actually off doing drugs, but he was working late that night. And so I grabbed all of my stuff, packed it in the car, and I left and never went back. So there wasn't really an official breakup or anything like that. He was cheating with me during that relationship as well.
Yeah.
But that was the moment that I was like, oh my God, I felt like, I didn't feel as powerful as I do now, but there was hints of that power coming back to me.
Because there's definitely an aura that you have.
Yes.
Like like meeting you in person, everything. You've definitely got a sense of power within you, I would say, that kind of radiates to people around you. So
thank you.
It's insane that this is your story of how you got there. It's just crazy. Yeah,
and I think I love that people can have things handed to them. I do. I think that that's great when you have the opportunity to do that.
But not everybody.
Not everyone gets that. And I think a lot of people stay stuck in the victim mentality for a really long time, and they live their lives like that. You see people in their 50s and 60s still stuck in that. And I think when especially women can't take back their power, it can be really damaging to them, like their soul. So I think it is really, really important that you realize that you can rewrite your story at any point.
Do you also notice that there is an increase of people that claim to really understand the fitness industry on socials and Instagram, and I guess kind of project that they know everything that they're doing and they'll sell programs such as the one that you're selling, right? Without that kind of background. Does that
upset me?
Upset you? Yeah. Or other people in your industry?
It does. But the thing is, with your personal training course, I find there is no support after. That's the one thing I would say. When I finished my personal training course, I actually finished that course while in drug addiction. And so then once I'd left that relationship, I was still addicted, but it was a lot less frequent, and I was really battling it at that point. And I started PT, and even though that gym screwed me over money-wise, they did give me, there was a mentor that I had there, and he reintroduced me to learning. He was like a pinnacle part of my journey because he reintroduced me to loving to learn. In high school, I was a bad kid. I had problems at home. I wasn't a bad kid, but you know,
had that stereotype kind of placed on you.
Yeah. People would look at me and be like, oh, she's not going to do well. You know, she's trouble. She's not going to do well. And I hated learning because I was so distracted by other things happening in my life. But when I met that person at that gym, he really introduced me back and opened up my world to learning. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bothered. I would have went about and done what these coaches are doing now, not expanding my knowledge. But, you know, finishing up that PT course, I believe that there is no more knowledge after that is offered to, you know, personal trainers and young people in the industry. So that's something that I would definitely, it upsets me. But if you don't know, you don't know. And if you have this piece of paper that tells you that you can do it, no one's telling you to go do more research. No one's telling you to do more. I've completed many courses.
So basically the onus is on you, really, or the person.
Yeah. So you have to keep learning. And that's one thing in life, I think. That's a lot of what people do is they finish courses or they finish things and then they go,
they're done.
They go, okay, I'm done. I'm qualified. I can just go do this thing, and they never keep learning. And I find that that's really, it stops the growth sometimes.
Yeah. Were you ever afraid of disappointing anybody when you kind of pivoted, changed your career, kind of went on a different mission? Because I don't think a lot of people understand what it takes to really build a business. Everything from like your mindset to your branding to everything. It's just a whole different life, you know. You can't be out every single weekend partying. You need to be worrying about what your next week's content is. Like it's a whole different kind of vibe and world.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you disappointed anybody or lost friends along the way because of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I also feel like I said, my background, I was already, you know, in my belief system, I was already a disappointment. And so in my mind, I'm like, no one gives a fuck what I do because I'm already disappointing everyone. That's what I believed anyways.
Yeah.
And so when I started my business, I mean, the only person, and I love it a bit, she's fantastic, but she had a bit of doubt in her own stuff. And obviously that was a bit of her projection of being like, how are you going to fucking pay the rent? How are you going to pay the bills? Like, oh my God. But also, I think everyone in my life is more proud than anything, to be honest. I have a really beautiful group of people. There's obviously people that they won't understand it, but at least they can respect it. I think that's the main thing. Like you don't have to understand what I'm doing. You don't have to understand the mission.
Yeah.
But as long as you're there supporting me, and my best friend Zoe, she every step of the way, everything I'm doing, every video I'm posting, every caption I'm writing, every email I'm doing, I'm like, Zoe, look at this. And she's like, hey.
It's so good as a woman to have another female that understands everything you're going through to just be that support person. It literally changes your life.
Yeah, she's been my best friend since I was 2 years old, and her family took me in after the abuse at home when I was 16, and her family is like my family now as well. And so I think, you know, her and I, we just have each other until the very end, to be honest. Oh my God, I'm going to cry. So no, she's definitely my go-to
I love
girl.
That so much. And I guess with your drug addiction, was there a time specifically where you made the decision to stop taking drugs? Because I know there's generally like a thing that happens or a moment or something that really pushes you to be like, okay, I need to stop. Because other people I think will tell you like, hey, what you're doing is not right or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like when someone's truly addicted and they're going through what you said is like a disease, there is no stopping somebody, right?
It is really, really difficult moving out of Sydney.
Yeah.
Moving out of Sydney I think that I really enjoyed my time there, and the addiction got less and less because I had less money. That was the thing, because it was two people contributing to this habit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and we were picking like drugs over groceries. Like that's how bad it was. But because one person was removed and, you know, now all of a sudden I'm on my own, it was good. But there was less money that I could contribute to it. Like I said, I don't have any other backup money. And so it was that, and also just being away from that environment. So like stepping away from that person that was feeding it and helping me get it. You know, I lost all of the contacts, all of those types of things. And, you know, it still happened casually for a really long time. I like to be honest about these things. And I am 24 years old, and I think that a lot of people just do it so casually. Yeah. And it did happen casually for a while. When I moved out of Sydney, it kind of stopped, but there was still other things coming up.
Yeah.
But my 24th birthday, so this year, it was like, nah, I just can't anymore. Like it stops my growth so much when I like indulge in that kind of activity. Like I am out for 3 days of the week. Yeah. After doing that, my mental health crashes, and I've already got mental health problems. Why would I go and purposely make it worse? Like it's, and you know, my depression and anxiety got so much worse when I would do it. So it was kind of my birthday this year that I completely was like, no, and put my foot down. But casually through those years, it would still happen, unfortunately.
What advice would you give to somebody who was still in active addiction, like to kind of the best advice that you could give them, I guess?
Oh,
like if you could think back to Emma.
Let me think back to that lost little girl. Change your friends. Yeah. Change your friends. I think people that are allowing it, and you know what? They're not bad people. They just want someone. They want someone to enable them. And so if you're pairing up with those two people and you're like-minded in that way, like you can have someone that will fire you up in growth, or you can have people that will pull you back down into, you know, those addictions. And so I would change my circle. Yeah. I would have a really long, hard look at the 5 people closest to me, because that's the direct reflection of yourself. Yeah. And I would change those people, or have conversations, have the hard conversations with those people and be like, hey, you know, I'm not going to be doing this, and give them the reasons and be able to have those open conversations with those people. In addiction myself, in my own experience, I'm not here to be able to stop other people in addiction, because it is such a hard thing.
It's a hard thing, yeah.
Yeah. The thing for me was stepping away from it with my partner. That's my ex-partner. But, other than that, it's probably just changing the people around you and being distance yourself. Yeah, because when I was with my ex-partner, it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like we were up all night, 3-day benders. And then when we ran out of cocaine, we were taking sleeping tablets and then having energy drinks to keep us up, hallucinating, all of the things. Like we were just crazy. And then as soon as I stepped away from that, it's like it went to a Friday, Saturday, and then, you know, stepping out, didn't have money. Okay, Saturday. But there was a point where I couldn't actually go out into public on a Saturday night, Friday night without it. If I had 2 drinks, and I hate the way being drunk makes me feel. And so when I was in that mindset, I can have a few drinks now. Not that I really drink anymore, but if
you can enjoy it socially.
Yeah, I can enjoy it. But it used to be like I was on edge, like, I need it if I have 2 drinks. I would avoid those environments, have social events during the day. If I was in active addiction again, I really struggled there. Like as soon as I had 2 drinks, I was
so change the environments, change the friends, and just do your best, right?
Yeah. I think I didn't reach out because I thought there was no one out there. Like I said, my abuser had convinced me there was no one around me. Tell people. The more people you tell, and this is from Ginny and Georgia, anyone watching Ginny and Georgia, you tell someone a secret and then it shrinks. It gets smaller
Yeah.
That's, that story that you're telling yourself, it gets smaller.
And it heals you, doesn't
it?
it?
Yeah. So I would tell people that you're actually struggling, because I was telling people, but I was like, yeah, this is fun. Let's keep going, guys. And yeah.
So you did a half marathon, which is crazy for somebody like me that can't even run down the road. So just explain to me, I guess, your personal journey with that and how it kind of changed you, I guess. And what were the kind of trials and tribulations of doing a half marathon?
Well, if I can go back and change one of my answers about drug addiction, it would be to a half marathon.
Yeah.
Because running to me was an addiction. It's the same thing when you have this personality of addiction. You can pick addictions that are terrible for you, or you can pick the ones that are good for you. Like you get the choice of picking different ones. And so I replaced my drug addiction with running, and
that's amazing.
The way that I went about it wasn't the best way. I was in the coaching realm, and running was becoming this really big thing. It was awesome, but I was doing it out of self-hatred. And this is what I teach the women in my community now, is like that you actually can't bully yourself into health. I've been my leanest version of myself, I've been my fittest version of myself, and I still hated myself.
Yeah.
So it has to come from within. It has to come from the inner world. But the running journey for me, it did come from the addiction, to be honest. It was replacing that. It was a place that I could really work on my mental health, and it was something to strive for. I think if you have that goal to strive for, it can really help when you are in a mentally unwell spot like I was. But like I said, it was much for muchness with the addiction. It was just swapping one out for the other. And unfortunately, it wasn't a healthy journey for me running. I think it is for a lot of people, but at the time for me, it was coming from a place of punishment and self-hatred. If I was to give it another go, I would definitely change my perspective on it and do things differently. But yeah, running saved me for that time, but it wasn't the healthiest journey, unfortunately.
Do you feel like the community in running were really embracing too? Because I've heard from a lot of friends that are in fitness that they really love the whole community aspect of it as well, over the kind of, accomplishment of getting to the end of the marathon. Do you feel the same?
Yes, there was a lot of community behind me, but I also was doing it for my solo thing. It was my own sort of thing that was really helping me. And it actually, the thing about running is it's such a mind game. And when you are doing it, you want to quit 10 million thousand times. Like literally you want to quit in the first 2 minutes. You want to quit at the 5-minute mark. Like you want to quit the whole time. And for me, the thing that was really helpful was myself, because it just showed me that I could keep pushing.
Yeah.
And the community was really good because it was really uplifting, and I only got into it because I went for a little 6K run wherever there was a community event and everyone was doing it. But then I was like, wait, I didn't even realize I could run that far. Like you saying to me, I couldn't run down the road.
No.
That's a belief. That's a belief. And I think that, if you wire yourself into
change your mindset.
If you wire yourself into that belief, then you won't do it. But I think I just needed that community at the time to show me how, or show me I was capable. And then from there, I took off on my own. And the thing about the running was, while I was running, I was able to think about so much stuff. And I know that people are like, oh, don't think about it. I think when you're actually having the time, there's no technology around you, there's no TikTok, there's no Instagram, there's no distractions around you, you can really understand parts of yourself that you don't a lot of the times, because we're living in a world where we're all so distracted.
And it's so fast-paced as well, right?
Yeah.
The world that we live in, especially our generation, I think we have, we had the lockdown, we had COVID, and COVID really forced us all to be isolated, socially isolated, be on our phones, get addicted to the internet, and
that's an addiction as well.
Yeah. And I feel like especially younger people with mental health issues and anxiety can understand that being socially isolated is so bad for your mental health.
I love social media, but I hate social media. Social media is the thing where it gives me power to speak my truth and my voice and
bring impact.
But if you're not mentally there, it can be really damaging using social media as a distraction, because it's a distraction.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I was to say anything to anyone today, it would be watch the content that you're absorbing, notice the things that you're seeing all the time, and filter out the shit that you don't want to be. Like, have a hard look at the stuff that you're looking at and be like, do I want to be like this? And if the answer is no, block that person, get rid of them.
Yeah.
I know that sounds really like hustle culture or whatever you want to call it, but I do think that we are whatever we're consuming, and that's one big thing for me. I unfollowed the fitness influencers. I don't follow many of them unless they're inspiring, unless they actually have a voice and it's not just photos of their bodies all the time. And you know, I love everyone being in their element, taking cute little gym pics, and I love that sort of stuff too. But if there's no power behind it, or if there is no message behind it, then a lot of the times I'm like, that is just, you know, it's causing more pain than anything.
And what would you say to a woman who is kind of, I guess, wanting to start weights, wanting to kind of get into the gym for the first time? Because I remember my first time at the gym, I was really, really young. It was my first boyfriend, and I was going to the gym and I was following everything this guy was doing.
Yeah.
Anything he said to me, that's how I was training. And I lost so much, like, I would say success in that time, because I was like, that's how everybody trains, right? Because this guy's teaching me how to train, you know? And then as I got older and I started getting and investing into other kind of coaches and female coaches specifically, I realized that there were different ways that women train versus men.
Yeah.
And how we have to kind of, I guess, be a bit less harsh on ourselves in relation to our bodies, and how long it takes for us to get to certain goals and things like that. But when I first went to the gym, I was so intimidated because there were all these people around me. They were really fit. You know, they're lifting these heavy weights. I don't even know how to lift a weight. I'm like, so what advice would you kind of give, I guess, to somebody who was just starting out, who really wants to try weights, especially as a female, but they're like, I don't know how to do this.
Women for so many years have been taught to train like little men. And I believe in stepping into being uncomfortable. Like, that is how I have actually grown into the person that I am today, is because I've stepped into discomfort. And I think a lot of people are scared of stepping into discomfort, and that really holds a lot of people back. I think if you're just starting in the gym, step into the uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
Love being the person that's learning, because to be honest, when you know everything, not that I know everything, but when you know a lot, shit can get really repetitive. Like, when you're there learning, it's like, that's the most exciting time. I would honestly say what I tell my clients to do, especially when they come to me and they've never trained before, okay, cool. Get yourself a program. Get yourself a program. If you don't have a program, results are always going to be limited. You cannot progressively overload without a program. You cannot see results without a program. That's my first thing.
Yeah.
Second thing, if you're just starting and you're feeling really anxious, anxiety, like I said, the more you shine light on something that you're feeling, step into it and it will shrink. The more that you do something, the less and less you will feel that anxiety and that fear.
Yeah.
And logistically, go to the gym, have your program, go on the treadmill. Go in there for 5 minutes, girl, walk, get those steps in. And then I would be looking at that program and I would be mapping it out in my head and going, okay, so this is where I've got to go for this and this is where I've got to go for that. Make sure that the coach that you are using I can't wink. Shameless plug. Make sure the coach that you're using knows your level as well. Like, you don't want to be going on a really hard program if you're just starting out. But yeah, I would stick to the machine-based stuff to begin with and just warm yourself up to that environment and try new things. Like, you have to try the new things. And like, a lot of people, when they're starting in the gym, they're going onto this gym equipment and they're just sticking to that. They'll be like, okay, I'm going to just stay on this leg extension machine for the rest of my life. And they're not trying the new fun, exciting things. I find when something's more challenging, it's more stimulating for me. I'm like, fuck, how can I crack the code? Like Nordic curls, I never did them because I was scared of setting them up. And then all of a sudden I set them up and I was like, this is so fun. Like this is literally so fun. I don't know how to describe it. I'm not the best at it still, but the more challenging it is, the more stimulating it is, and the more you get to grow because you're like, oh, even my bent over rows or like my RDLs, I used to RDL 40 kilos and now I'm bent over rowing that. Like, you know what I mean? Like you get to see that growth if you step into that uncomfortable feeling. So feel the anxiety and step into it.
Yeah, I love that. So with speaking about anxiety in general, what's kind of a daily ritual that keeps you grounded that you kind of do every day, if you have one?
I do have one. So it is my other mentor, Elle. She has this famous technique and it's shaking it out, honestly, and it's just getting the energy out of the body, like somatic movement, dancing, anything that actually gets the anxiety out of the body.
Yeah.
And so something that I can kind of get a bit anxious around is speaking. I was in the car just doing this before. Or even like going on a call with a brand new person, a new face. Sometimes that can cause me a bit of anxiety, and I've had anxiety since I was 16, but I don't like to say it's a part of me. And shaking it out.
Okay, so while we're on that, what inspired you to create the Baddie Blueprint?
Oh, there was a missing link. When I have worked with coaches in the past, I haven't always had the best experience in working with other coaches, and this is before I was a coach. My first coach took me on board, gave me a meal plan. I paid $800 up front and never even checked in with me. If I messaged, it was like a bother, and there was no layer of support. And you know, and then my next coach was a similar situation, and then my next one after that was a similar situation. It was just kind of like I was having these bad raps with other coaches, and I'm not trying to put other coaches down because I know there's fantastic coaches out there. But I noticed in the online coaching space, a lot of coaches, it's a selling point for business coaches even saying, stop trading your time for money and get off Zoom calls. Like
the hustle
we're
culture.
not in 2020. Just do a check-in form. But I really struggle connecting with people. And the part I want to be as a coach is I want to know my clients' stories, and I want to know how I can help them more than just inside of the gym. And so being able to hear the stories or hear the beliefs, hear the language, hear parts of what is holding them back, that's where I can actually change it. So I think that that's what inspired me, because there was a missing link in a lot of the programs I had been in before, and a missing part of fitness and health where there was no connection. There needs to be human connection. There is a disconnect in the world right now with human connection, and I believe that a lot of people that are going online are taking away that human connection for money, to be honest, because a lot of people are like, oh, if I don't have to check in with them, I won't. But I'm like, I want to get on a call with my client. I want to talk to them at least once a fortnight, and I want to know what's happening in their lives. I want to hear what they're going through. And I'm not a therapist by any means, but being able to just hear the way that they talk or hold themselves, I can pick out like the body language, or pick out the language that they use, or the ways that they talk to themselves. Even before, when we were just talking, not to mindset coach you, but you saying, oh, I couldn't run down the block. If my client was to say that, I'm like, no, okay, because we need to change the language around that. It's like, I can't yet, but you're going to be able to do it eventually. And so the human connection was the main thing for me, and being able to provide a service where people don't just get a fitness program, they get everything that they need in one. And I don't like to say it's a fitness program. I like to say it's mentorship. I get to mentor these beautiful women, and I'm so grateful for everyone inside of my community. And I hope that they're all watching. And if you are, I love you all.
What's one of your favorite kind of client wins that you would say from having this whole program and what you're doing?
I love seeing my client wins. Every single time I get a client win, I swear my body just is like, warm and full of love, and I love seeing it. My favorite ones are where clients are saying, I just wore a sports bra for the first time in the gym. Like, I didn't wear a shirt, because a lot of the times when people come to me, they're wearing baggy clothes. They
trying to cover their body.
They're living in an identity that they don't want to live in. Imagine feeling trapped. And that's how I felt in my body when I first started, I felt really trapped inside of my body. I felt like I had to wear certain clothes to hide parts of myself. And a lot of the people that come to me feel that way. And so when I hear a client message me and be like, I just wore a sports bra for the very first fucking time, I'm like, yes, baby girl, let's go.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think so I love actually going on Instagram sometimes and seeing like friends of mine that are just getting into the gym and they're posting their selfies.
Yes, I love seeing that as well. Like when my clients post selfies or, you know, they're posing in the room and I'm like, yes, like I love that. I love that energy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What about that kind of stereotypical kind of vibe that we kind of get, I think, women that go to the gym and they wear their bras and they wear whatever, that they're doing it for male attention. What's your opinion on that? As somebody that's really into the fitness space.
I wear shorts that go up my bum crack. Like I cannot speak on this issue. I don't believe it's an issue. I think men wear shorts in the gym. They wear singlets in the gym. Like it's almost the same thing. Like I do believe that the clothes are getting smaller and smaller. They're gym bikinis. I seen a video on that the other day, gym bikinis or whatever. But I think it's honestly the most comfortable way to train. Like I'm either in a really tight set that's like just a sports bra and shorts, or I'm in trackies, hoodie, like, and both of those options I train my absolute best. But I think it's people's fucking bodies. Like leave them alone. Let people do what they want.
Yeah.
Like if you want to wear a fucking clown suit to the gym, man, go off.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me.
I've never been the kind of person that when I go to the gym, I look at what other people are wearing. That's never been me, because I feel like if you're a real gym goer, like, and you're going every day, you're focusing on your workout, your sets, your reps, you know.
Yes.
Like,
and
if
anything, I'm looking, going, I love your outfit. Like, where'd you get that from? Let me see that tag. If anything, like, but I think just wear what you want.
And I love those girls that come up to you like in between sets and I'll be like, where did you get that from? And you're like, oh my God, thank you.
Yeah, literally. It's such a compliment when girls do that. I had a girl come up the other day actually, and she asked me how to use a machine, and something in me was like, I'm so glad that I was your safe person today.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so glad that you felt comfortable to be like, how do I use this? Because like I've never been to this gym before, or I don't know how to use this. When she came up to me, I was like, oh, like I wanted to give her a hug and be like, thank you for asking me, because now I'm like, I know that I feel like a safe, like I look like person. You know, I seem like a safe person to other people, which made me really, really happy. But yeah,
I love that. And what's so different about your approach to wellness and lifestyle in general that you feel like makes you stand out compared to other kind of people in the fitness game? Inside
of my program, I'm really trying to bring in education versus just the program. That's why I do the Zoom calls. I'm actually doing 30-minute Zoom calls with my clients now, where we go in depth of their nutrition, what is going to work for them, how to reverse out of things, why we're eating certain foods, why we're not eating certain foods, what we can have more of, what we can have less of, and what each macronutrient is actually doing for their body, instead of, you know, here's a meal plan, it's going to work, 8 weeks goes by and you've lost the weight, but you're going to put it back on. I'm trying to use the meal plan as a tool, as a Band-Aid almost, because eventually we rip that Band-Aid off and then they can eat for their lifestyle without gaining the extra weight. I don't track my food. I don't follow meal plans anymore because I know my food so well, and that's my goal. My goal is to get clients to their goal and then take the Band-Aid off and see how they go maintaining that. And if we have any sort of spirals in that point, we can definitely discuss that together.
Yeah.
The other thing is that I pack in a lot of knowledge into, you know, my program with the learning modules. I'm doing a learning module at the moment on myofascial release and all of these different techniques that you can use to make sure that your journey is everlasting and a long-term thing. And then also, obviously, inside of my program, there's generic videos that come with the app that I use, but I always replace those with my own talking videos and technique and ways to actually do things, instead of just being like, yeah, go do a fly and it's just some random guy doing it that's giving no explanation that he's probably actually doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Another thing is that I have a mindset mentor that comes into my space, Elle, the beautiful Elle.
We love Elle.
We love that girl. And she comes into my space once a month and she educates my community more and more on their belief systems, how to rewire their brains and how to reprogram as well. So I'm currently studying neuro-linguistic programming as well myself. But currently she's in the space with me, and she comes in once a month and educates my community, because without the mindset as well, and that's where that's my biggest belief. I've done the fitness trends, I've done the 8-week challenges, and I've done the things that are short term. I've lost the weight. I've been my leanest self and I've hated myself. But without changing those beliefs and rewiring the way that you think about yourself and deleting the old programs, unfortunately, your fitness journey can only go so far. Even if you look your best, you can still hate yourself, unfortunately.
I feel that way because I was at my leanest when I was about 21. But I was training every single day. I was tracking my calories to the point where it was excessive.
Yeah.
And TMI, I literally lost my period at one point.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I was that thin, you know?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I feel like
That's not TMI, by the way, baby girl. We talk about periods. We talk about all of it.
Yeah.
I talk about my clients like poop schedule, bro.
Yeah.
I never say poop. I was going to say shit, and then I was like, oh, should I swear? I think I've sworn a lot.
On the podcast? Yeah. So how do you help women kind of rewrite their stories, especially in areas like fitness and self-worth and burnout as well? Because I know burnout for women is like something really kind of prevalent. Yeah.
Yeah. So with burnout, it's like if you can't put 100% in, put in 50%. If you can't put 50% in, put 20%. As long as we're taking the imperfect actions all the time, then we will always see some sort of results from that. And throughout the program, putting in diet breaks, because a lot of people go, I'm going to be in a calorie deficit, and they stay in that calorie deficit for life. That's something I see with women all the time. They're always in calorie deficits. Like, girl, we need to eat. We need fuel. And a lot of the times they're living in those calorie deficits, and they're like, why am I burnt out? And I'm like, your body actually needs it for more than just losing weight. Like everyone thinks it's a weight loss thing. It's your body actually needs it in order to think properly, move properly. Like, you're going to get burnt out if you're not eating properly.
So how do you kind of help support women as well with kind of their struggled with perfectionism and comparison, especially with social media so prevalent and kind of in your face? And I know you were talking before about, you know, making sure people don't have so many like visions of influencers that are constantly showing their bodies a certain lighting, you know. Photoshop is also very prevalent now. So we've got AI and everything like that. Yeah. Like, how do you kind of guide your clients that way as well?
I have a different idea about comparison than a lot of coaches do, or a lot of people do, sorry. And it's another coach in my space, and a friend of mine as well. Her name's Ruby. And she spoke about this, and it really hit close to home, because comparison can be a really good thing, to be honest. Yeah. Because if I didn't have myself to compare to someone, would I be doing better, or would I just keep doing drugs and stay in my party lifestyle? Probably, because I didn't have other people to look up to. So, for example, my mentor now, Tam, I see what she's doing, and I can see how much action she's taking, and I can see the positivity she's putting into the world, and I can be like, I want to be like that. I compare myself to that person because I want to be more like that. I think it is always the way that you look at things. Perception is huge. And if you're looking at it from a place of self-hatred versus a place of self-love and how I can do better, then comparison is going to be really bad for you. Yeah. Another thing is, watch the content you're consuming. Like I said earlier, if you're consuming content that's just really bad for you and things that are not promoting the lifestyle that you want, then what do you expect to be like?
Exactly. And what part of your story are you most proud of?
I think I'm most proud of like being able to break the patterns. Like, there was a pattern in my life of abuse, addiction. Like, there's also addiction in my family. There was a lot of bullying as well. And then there was all of these things that were patterns in my life. And I was living to that, in that victim mentality of being like, this is what I'm meant to be. This is who I am. And being able to step out of that and break that when really, like, so many people are so unaware that that's even happening in all of the patterns of their life. Being able to break that is massive. Yeah. And then also sharing that with so many other women. Like, the community that I've built is incredible. Like, I love the women that I work with. I work with literally soul clients. Like, I feel like when I talk to the girls I'm talking to the people that used to be in the shoes that I was in. And I believe that I can truly help those people. And so my most proudest thing is my community. I just love them. I love what I'm building, and I love that I have drive to keep building more, and the career that I've built for myself is just incredible, and I love it.
That's
my proudest moment.
And before we wrap up, what does power without permission mean to you?
Power without permission is such a great way for people to express themselves and people to hear other people's stories. And I think that storytelling has been around for so many years, and I feel as though there's a lack of it in the world at the moment. A lot of people are feeling this disconnect from the world, and when we are storytelling and we're allowing other people to hear what we've been through, one more person gets to feel seen, one more person gets to feel understood. And I think that it's such a powerful thing that you're doing, allowing people to come on here and express their own stories, because it's going to help someone else. And I think that that's the main thing that we need to bring back in society at the moment, because, you know, storytelling has been around for so many years, but we're lacking that element now. And everything is made up. You know, there's AI and there's, you know, filtered lives on Instagram now. And so being able to come on here and be so raw and real is such an honor. So I really do thank you for today.
Thank you so much for being here.